Welcome back to the Driveway Beers podcast with Mike and Alex. As always, we appreciate you listening. Please rate us on all the podcast platforms. Like, subscribe, comment, share wherever else you're listening, and enjoy the show. All right, thank you for coming back to another show. We appreciate you listening. As always, please like, subscribe, comment, and share on all the podcast platforms or video platforms that you're listening on. I want to thank Adam Chubbuck with Douglas Realty in Pasadena. Go to tacmd.com. That's TACMD.com. Give Adam a call or drop him an email, or go on any one of his social media accounts, especially Instagram. I know he responds to stuff on Instagram. Anytime we post anything, we usually tag him, and you can just click on his name and send him a message that way. Let him give you advice on what to do right now. If you're going to do anything with real estate, or even if you own rental properties, he can give you great advice on rental properties. If you're a first home buyer, looking to sell your home, whatever you're looking to do in real estate, go contact Adam. He also has great contacts in the mortgage industry. If you are looking for someone to approve you for a home loan, or if you need someone to save your sale, he has a mortgage lender that can generally get people approved that can't get approved for whatever reason from an inferior lender. So go to tacmd.com, give Adam a call, let him know what you need. All right, it is Christmas Day. The worst day of the year for Mike, happiest day of the year for me. And I, like in the last episode, I let everyone know Mike and I were not feuding, although that would probably help our ratings.
Could be.
You know, we should have a beef. I wouldn't even know what to beef about, but
no, me neither.
I feel weird saying the word beef. But anyway, we'll fight about something in 2025.
Sure. It'd be like WWE.
Yes.
We'll make it up.
The only podcast show where people aren't yelling at each other. You had the breathing disease known as I'm going to call it pneumonia, but it's probably not.
I don't even know what the hell it is. It's still here. Like, well, as of this recording, I hope it's not here on Christmas because that'll make Christmas even better. But yeah, it's a pain in the ass, dude. Like it started when I was in North Carolina for Thanksgiving, and like it's still. That's when I think it started, but then it really kind of started in earnest that first week of December, and then now it's kind of migrated to my sinuses, which is awesome. A lot of coughing, some sneezing, but I feel okay. Like I can still do stuff. It's not like I want to stay home. Well, I always want to stay home from work, and skip like things. But aside from that, like if I had tickets to a game or something I really wanted to do, I'd still go do it.
So you're doctor reverse. By now, I would have look if on day 2, I'd be on the telehealth visit, being like, yeah, I've had this for 3 weeks. I can't. I need something. What do you got? The doctor's like, I'll give you an antibiotic and some prednisone. We'll clear you right up.
Yeah, maybe I'll hit them up. So
dude, you let this go 5 weeks or 4. I'm gonna say I'll give it 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Look, we're on a different spectrum. Me, day 2, I'm ready for the doctor. Let's go.
I'm a trooper. I just keep sucking it up.
Drug me the hell up. I do not deal well with the coughing and or the sinus area.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah, I just keep going. I need to eat some really spicy food and just blast this thing out of here.
You ever
some pepper spray?
So, do you normally have nasal issues?
No.
All right. So I do. I do this thing. There's this thing, and for people out there that have like sinus issues, they'll know the name. It's called Neomid.
I've seen that thing.
Yeah.
Like squirt the shit up your nose
yes.
and out your ears or whatever.
100%.
You see the neti pot?
Yeah. This is the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's like a little squeeze bottle with like, basically looks like something you're going to put up your ass. Like the little tip, right?
Like an enema?
Like if you basically like lubed it up, it's going in your ass. Like that's the enema bottle. Except now, you just take it, no lube, put it up your nose, you tilt your head to the side, squeeze it, it literally, it grabs everything in your nasal cavity and it comes out the other nostril.
See, I'm afraid of that thing.
See, I
actually have one.
I was too. I was
had one. I think we threw it out.
I was anti it, right? I was like, I don't want that. I wouldn't be able to. I'm gonna suffocate. And then I did
it's
it.
It's like you're waterboarding yourself.
Yeah. Yes. 100%. You got to breathe through your mouth. You got to breathe through the mouth.
Tell me who's flying the drones.
Speedway. A week later, nobody knows who the fucking drones belong to. Yeah. We'll talk about that later, though, or maybe next week when they still don't know who the fuck is flying those drones. Yeah, no, I take that. You got to make sure it's distilled water, though, because, like, of course, I went on YouTube and they're like, oh, if you use regular water, a parasite can go in your nasal cavity and stay there and grow mold and something, and you can die. Like, what? Why is this over the counter? Like, why can't I do this at home? But essentially, you use distilled water in there.
Possible side effects include death.
Death. Every drug now is death. But you put the saline packet in there, so basically it's salt water.
Yeah.
And then you squeeze it with your nose, and it clears you up. The problem is if your issue is from dryness, though, it works for like 15 minutes before you start breathing in, and if it's dry, you're just getting the crusty boogers again, and the crusty ones and the bloody ones are the ones that like stick in there.
Oh, okay.
That sucks too. But no, I love the Neil Med. Whatever, I don't want to call him Dr. Neil Med or whatever. I don't know if the guy in the packaging is real, but
he looks like an Indian dude.
Probably. Yeah. Hey, shout out to the Indians if they created this thing because it works.
Yeah.
But no, it's like a neti pot though. It works very similar. Only I think it's got a little bit more pressure because you're squeezing the bottle.
Okay.
But you do half a bottle through one nostril, half a bottle through the other, and apparently, I mean, I shouldn't say apparently because for me it works.
Yeah.
It feels awkward though.
I just like anything going up the nose. Like, and then they have those ear candles too. You ever see those?
Those things weird me out. Like So this is one dude on YouTube. I wish it's Zhao Man or something. Zhao Man. So anyway, it's American dude who picks up dialects really quick. So he speaks Mandarin.
I've seen that dude that speaks like he's like a white kid and he goes to like he'll go into a Chinese restaurant and order like everything in Chinese and they like look at him like whoa.
Yeah. So of course he goes to like all the Chinese places in Chinatown that do weird stuff.
Yeah.
So like he goes to this lady who like goes and clears his ears out, and they do it with the camera, so like it shows the lady like going in and getting out the gross and the junk. I mean, I'm sure he's probably also gone into like some Asian massage parlors too, and
rub and tug.
Yeah, well, because she's always surprised when he speaks perfect Mandarin. It's like, oh, white boy speaks Mandarin. But then he'll go into like the Korean place and he'll speak Korean. Like he knows like all these languages. Yeah. And he goes to like these places where they don't expect anyone to speak their dialect, right? So he went to China. Apparently, like his wife is Asian. I think she's Chinese. And like he goes and he'll speak and like he'll go with her and they'll speak to her in Chinese, and I don't think she speaks Chinese. And then he has a conversation like, oh, but like he does the weird stuff. I think he does like the thing with the ears though. Have you done that?
No.
I think it would freak me out.
Yeah, I've cleaned out like a dog that had a ear infection, like the infected, not ear infection like inner ear, but like outer ear, like wax and like clean that out. And that's just, I don't want to see, like that might be in there. I don't want to know about it. Like you just stay in there. I don't need to see it or smell it or nope. Like I can hear shit just fine. So.
Yeah. I got sensitive ears. Like I use Q-tips on the outer part, and I'm probably the person who goes a little too far in the canal because it feels fucking amazing.
Yeah, like
it kind of really does. It's low key, like it's pretty cool. Now I'm probably gonna poke an eardrum one day and go deaf, but for now I haven't done it. I don't think I could have someone go in my ear though. Now as a kid I had ear infections, so I've had my ears.
As an adult, I had, like, the doctor wanted to put the tubes in as an adult.
Oh.
So I had this ear infection that was so bad. And maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment. So, like, I went in, I had a tooth that was cracked. And the doctor's like, how are you not, like, writhing in pain? I'm like, So then I go for this ear infection, right? And they go in there. So before, I had, like, cleaned my ear out with a swab, and I looked at, and there was like blood on it. So then I go in and my doctor looks. She goes, "Oh my God!" It's always awesome when the doctor like looks into some part of your body and goes, "Oh my God!"
Right.
I was like, "What's wrong?" She goes, "How are you not on the floor in pain?" I was like, "Uh." And she says, "Your eardrum is perforated. The infection's so bad it is bleeding." I said, "Oh, that must have been what that bloody Q-tip was." She goes, "You had blood on a Q-tip?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "You'd come right in." I said, "Well, I mean, it didn't hurt that bad yet." She's like, "You should have been in here days ago." It wasn't the typical like, here's your amoxicillin or whatever. Like, no, she put me on prednisone, all these high speed antibiotics because this thing was apparently like. She said my ear looked angry.
It's always good when you can bring a doctor of like 30 years something they have never seen.
Yeah.
That's never the reaction you want.
Oh my God.
Right, yeah. What do you mean, oh my God? You're 60 years old. There should be no oh my Gods anymore.
Right, you're not a newbie.
No, you should
rookie.
be like, I've seen this.
Yeah.
Seen this a lot. That's what I want to hear from the doctor that sees me.
Right, let's say you're a pilot. You don't want to be like, holy shit.
Right, yeah. Like, I don't know if when we're taking off, be like, this is a big bird. No. This is a normal sized bird that you've flown before.
Yeah.
Let's keep it that way. There was one time we were on a Southwest flight, and as we're landing it, the pilot thought it would be a good idea to come on the comms. And after it lands, he's like, "Whoa, big fella, whoa." It was a Southwest flight when they were back in their comedic days.
Oh, yeah.
like nowadays, they don't do it anymore. Like, the pilots used to come through and just have these awesome one-liners and shit.
They're not as fun.
No. But, like, when my mother died laughing on that landing. She hates flying. He was like, "Whoa, big fella, whoa." Like, who says that during a landing? And it wasn't a really smooth landing either. It was bad weather and everything like that. But, yeah, from a professional, the last thing you don't want to hear extracurriculars on their voice.
No exclamation points or like, "Holy shit," or "Never seen that before."
Right, no.
That's new.
Especially anything below the waist. You know what I'm saying? Like, no. Yeah. You have seen this before. You have dealt with us 1,000 times. Yeah. And this is going to be a quick and easy fix. That's all I want to hear out of you.
Yeah.
Doctor.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, ever since I put doctor in our Twitter handle, you know how many times people have called us doctor?
Well, they should.
I mean, they should, but they also should. Like, I think we had an actual doctor who follows us call us doctor. I was like, this is like out of fucking Spies Like Us. Yeah. Remember that movie when they're in the doctor? Like, what? like, a real doctor should understand that the DR in front of our name isn't fucking real.
Right.
I'm sorry. If it says Dr. Driveway Beers Podcast, you know that's not real. Yeah. I hope he was fucking with us because that'd be funny.
Yeah.
But like, if you were serious, brother, you need to go back to whatever medical school you came from and get back in the books.
Well, doctor, in med school, you should have known. Like, oh yeah, because when the Driveway Beers Podcast was at the Santiago School of Medicine in the Dominican Republic.
Right. Yeah, apparently at medical school they didn't teach you about sarcasm or blatantly false advertising. Like, anyone who puts Dr. Driveway Beers Podcast and you think it's a real doctor, we're not. I'm letting people know that right now. Neither Mike or I.
We don't even have a fake me out PhD from Sally Struthers University.
No. What if we could get one?
As long as the check clears. I think that's kind of how it works now.
I wonder if I could just go online and just print out a medical. Well, is it a degree? I don't even know what it is.
Well, I'm actually a reverend. I went online and became a reverend.
Pastor? Father?
Yeah. I park in clergy spots.
I mean, you got the black shirt on. You just don't have the white collar working.
Yeah. Yeah, so I went online. I'm an ordained minister of the Universal Life Church.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I think any profession is good to steal the moniker except for military, right? Like, that's the one you can't, I can't call myself Corporal Driveway Beers Podcast. That's right. Stolen valor.
Yeah.
But if I call myself Dr. Driveway Beers Podcast,
Reverend
that's funny.
Driveway Beers Podcast.
Reverend, yeah. Bishop.
Yeah.
I think we're more of bishops.
I mean, sure.
So what is your official title?
The Reverend Doctor.
No, I mean, you're technically
an ordained minister.
An ordained minister. But
I have actually married couples.
So when you got ordained, on the ordainment certificate, does it tell you whether you're a pastor, reverend, bishop, deacon?
It says, is an ordained minister.
So it's left up to interpretation what you want to be
I
called.
can probably pick my own title. Father. I like father.
I feel like it's generic, though.
Yeah.
And not high enough up the food chain
Right.
in the clergy hierarchy.
Yeah.
I mean, bishop is pretty high up there. But is that like... I feel like that's like a bridge too far.
Cardinal.
Ooh. That's above the bishop. You're going straight into management.
Archbishop.
I mean, why don't you just call yourself the Pope? I mean, fuck. If you're going cardinal...
His Eminence.
Cardinal is literally right underneath Pope.
Yeah.
You just skipped
Skipped
all
a whole
of it.
bunch of ranks.
Yeah. I mean...
Whew. It is cool, though, like, because you know when you hear the dumb stuff at work and they're like, tell us something nobody knows about you. And I'm like, I'm an ordained minister. I will marry anyone to anything.
That's why I think you need, like, an official title, though. You need, like, pastors to Lifehouse Church bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, where they do, like...
Hey, I'm Pastor Steve. I have my guitar.
Yeah, the guy with the guitar and his fucking dog's out.
Birkenstocks.
No, I'm sorry. If a guy's preaching the good book, cover your toes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You don't get your
I like
thumb.
Cardinal.
Look, it's your game.
As long as we're making things up.
Right. Well, I mean, look, I don't think I would have aimed that high. Like, that's like me saying chief medical officer or chief resident versus just doctor.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so if you want to go that route, the only problem is if you declare yourself a cardinal, that means if the Pope dies, you're now on the running.
Then I have to go to the conclave.
You will. If you pretend, you got to go. You can't half-ass this.
Is it trip free?
I would imagine some church pays for this, right? They got a lot of money. Could you imagine if you just showed
up? Where the bitches at?
Like if you bought the robes and shit, showed up. Like, do you? Could you? I can't imagine anyone would call bullshit on you.
They probably know pretty quick.
Why?
I mean, there's a Swiss Guard there. They have those axes.
Yeah, you just say I'm
Cardinal Driveway Beers podcast.
I'm Cardinal Mike. if you're in the full regalia, it's the whole thing. Act as if, right?
Yeah, fake it till you make it. Like,
God, I feel like this could work.
What happens if they selected me to be the Pope?
Dude,
what I tell my wife? Hey, so I got a new job. It involves a move. You can't come.
Yeah, so the marriage thing. We gotta keep that a secret.
Yeah.
I'm not saying we gotta get divorced because that's also not allowed.
Right.
Imagine the conundrum. Like because once they name you the Pope, they can't then admit the mistake.
No.
That they admitted a fake cardinal as the new Pope, right? It's done. It's the smoke is plumed.
Yeah. Right? The white smoke came out.
You've been announced. You've done your princess wave out the balcony.
Got the Pope mobile riding around.
Yeah. Now you spring. So look, guys. Didn't think it would get this far.
Joke's on me.
I kind of got 3 kids and a wife back in Maryland. I mean, I'll move them out here, but I can't do the divorce thing because I'm pretty sure that's against the whole code.
I'm sure one of you guys had a side piece at some point. So how's that work?
Okay. I don't even know how we're going to keep this under wraps. My wife isn't exactly the quietest person out there. Dude, I can just imagine your wife walking into the fucking Vatican City.
Yeah.
Just the shit she would say. I would be rolling.
Yeah. This could be a good movie.
This would be hilarious.
Yeah.
How is no one someone has got it. Some B movie out there has got to be about this, right?
Or someone faking being a priest.
I love how, like, literally both of us are deep in thought going through the movie Rolodex.
Yeah.
Like, did that happen?
It's like a Kevin James movie.
Don't bring us down to that level. This ain't fucking Paul Blart Mall Cop. All right, I'm sorry. His movie sucked.
I mean, he was in a funny movie where him and Adam Sandler could be the gay firefighters.
Yeah, that was Adam Sandler's movie.
Yeah.
He was supporting actor Paul Blart.
Yeah.
That's his name, by the way. Paul Blart.
Paul Blart. Who would you get to play the fake Pope?
I mean, look, if it were me and I wanted someone to play me in a movie, Mark Wahlberg.
I mean, you guys have the same physique.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, why not?
Shirtless. I mean, no one can tell the difference.
No. Identical. I mean, although it'll probably be Jelly Roll that played my ass.
Jelly Roll.
With the tattoos all over his face. I don't understand the tattoos on faces. Like, why is that a thing? Stop getting tattoos on your fucking face.
Yeah. I mean, there are plenty of people who get tattoos on normal places in their body and they regret them.
Right.
Like, it's funny when you go to the pool and, like, the women our age, and you see, like, the tramp stamp, like, I know what kind of girl you are.
Right. Like, did you get married because something came first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're like, Yep, there's a little tramp stamp peeking out.
Yeah, I don't. Who would you want to play you in that movie? Because I mean, you are the Reverend in this situation, so
right.
It would be you.
It would have to be someone funny. Zach Galifianakis is too weird.
No.
Maybe like Burt Kreischer.
See, I was thinking a little more older. Brian Dennehy.
I'm not that old.
No, but I'm thinking of someone in that regard. Like a John Goodman back in his days when you know. But I feel like there's no one in their 40s who kind of has that bigger physique.
Well, first of all, Hollywood hasn't made a comedy in 5 years.
Yeah.
The woke brigade kind of ruined that.
They fucked everything funny up. That's why everyone became fans of actual comics in droves.
Yeah.
Because that was the only place you could find comedy.
Yep.
You know?
By the way, I love going to stand-up shows. I've never been to one. So, I'm not sure if we talked about this on a previous episode or not, but we went to see Sebastian Maniscalco.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious. Like we saw him we started, like, my first show was like a big one. It's like, oh, what, you went to your first football game. What was it? It was the Super Bowl. Like, it was at Cap One Arena, like, huge, sold-out crowd. But it was cool. Like, he's so good. Like, you feel like he's right there talking to you because you've got him in the center. But then the camera angle is good, and the stage is, like, circular, so he's working the whole crowd. But I'm hooked. I'll definitely go to more. So,
adjust your mic real quick. Just twist it up.
Oh,
there we go.
Yeah, it fell.
Yeah, our grade A equipment.
Yeah.
But no, I got into him back during like his first couple of shows. Mm-hmm. Like, I've never seen him live, but like he had a bunch of stuff on like YouTube back. He was kind of like not a pioneer on YouTube, but he was definitely posting stuff there before a lot of people were, and like I caught his like bits. And then, of course, he had some Netflix specials, so I'd watch him there, too. He is hilarious. And he's actually one of those guys. So the trend now for comics is to post, like, their crowd work.
Yeah.
And then you go to the show, and, of course, the show itself is nothing like the crowd work. He always posted his show. Mm-hmm. So when you went to go see him, you knew what you were getting.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people go to these shows when they see these young comics, and like, so there's like Matt Rife and Nate Jackson is another one. Andrew Schultz from like the Flagrant podcast. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's built himself a little empire. He's also on the Brilliant Idiots with Charlemagne the God.
Okay,
that's where he kind of made his name, and then he was a Rogan guy, and so he's blown up. And then, of course, Akash Singh is the other guy that's on his Flagrant podcast with him. They all help each other out. Like, all these comics help each other out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, killed that guy, Tony Clinchcliffe, who was the guy who bombed at the Trump rally, apparently, at MSG.
Yeah.
Which people that didn't understand the joke, apparently.
Yeah.
Which...
Well, and, you know, the funny part about that is that, like, when you talk to... It's so funny how, like, the guilt-ridden white liberal college-educated lady, it's like, oh, it's so terrible. He's making... People in other cultures, like, make fun of themselves and where they're from and what they do. And so, like, they were talking about that on Rogan, and they were talking about some Puerto Rican comics were like, yo, that bit killed. It was so funny because there's actually a problem with garbage on the island of Puerto Rico. So if you're from the island, like, you understand the joke. And like, oh, he's demeaning them and all. Like, no, they don't need your save. You know, not all these people need to be saved by you, lady. Like, chill.
I remember one of the Puerto Rican guys was like, at least someone's bringing attention to this shit.
Yeah,
because the landfills there are overflowing. And I think it has to do with the cleanup from that storm a few years ago, and nobody was doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Well, Tony makes a comment. It gets a lot of hate and whatnot, but apparently now someone's going to do something about it. They all thought he was talking about the garbage thing out in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
And
Tony Hinchcliffe is like a master roast comic. Like, he's the one that did the roast to Tom Brady.
I'm not a fan of his comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But he isn't a dumb guy.
Yeah.
Right? But people, I mean, that's where people have to go to comics now for comedy.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Hollywood's not making them.
No.
It's all like really mild comedy if it's comedy.
It's not even comedy.
No.
You know, the movies they make are remakes. Now, my wife did go to see that Wicked movie and really liked it.
Yeah. That's not a comedy, though. I mean, it's just...
No. I'm just saying it's a good movie, apparently. But it's not original. It was a play.
So apparently, and this is what I think sucks. The play it is original.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I don't think it's based on the Broadway show. Or maybe it is. And someone could correct me. But basically, it's like the precursor to... What's the actual movie?
It's the backstory behind the witches in the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
The Wicked Witch of the East.
So is
Witch.
that?
Yes.
Is that the play?
Yes.
Okay. So they just made a new movie.
Yeah.
Which they've done before,
mm-hmm.
right? Apparently it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, and that's only the first. So that's the, like, if you were to go see the show in the theater, that movie that just came out is the first act, and then there's the intermission. Then they're going to make another one. So
I actually saw Wicked on Broadway,
mm-hmm.
but this was back when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
So I don't remember it at all, and I probably didn't understand it. Right? I was too dumb. But my kids and my wife liked it. Like, I could see turning a movie in from a play. I mean, they did with kind of like Hamilton.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, not everyone goes to New York or lives near Broadway. So I understand if you want to turn a play into a movie. So that way people at least get to experience it. Now, with Hamilton, they literally just filmed the play, or the musical, and and Disney Plus put it out.
Yeah.
Brilliant, in my opinion.
Yeah. They've done that with some other shows. They've even done it live on TV,
mm-hmm.
where they'll, like, I think the last one I saw was Grease.
Okay.
They did it live on TV, and Ford sponsored the whole thing, so there was no commercials. So they just went through, and the actors are acting live on TV.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I've been to some plays. It's not really I've been to shows on Broadway. Here's the problem I have with Broadway. Those theaters were built in the 1800s
mm-hmm.
for 1800 size people.
Yep.
I'm not an 1800 size people.
Nope.
So I am miserably uncomfortable. So I like going to see them when they come to the Kennedy Center, because the Kennedy Center was built for me-sized people.
So cool, interesting story. When we went to go see Hamilton, we saw it at the Hippodrome in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. The Hippodrome in Baltimore is built like the Broadway theaters that were not built for people of today.
Yeah.
And it's not so much the seat width, it's the distance between the seat and the seat in front of you.
It's the seat pitch. Yeah.
My knees were just in torturous pain by the end of the first act. We went to go see Back to the Future at the Kennedy Center. Mm-hmm. Wonderful experience.
Yeah.
I had plenty of knee room. The seats were plenty wide enough. Easy to get in and out of. Like, it was just a much better experience. I told my wife, I said, I will go see any play or musical that you want. I enjoy it. I have a good time. I was like, but I'm not going to go watch it in pain. So we have to go to the Kennedy Center.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back to the Hippodrome. I'm not going to really go on Broadway unless it's a newer theater. Mm-hmm. I was like, if you want me to go or you want to go, I'll pay. It was like $150 a ticket. I was like, I'll go. I'll pay that. I don't care. I just want to be comfortable.
Yeah. We went to see it we saw Book of Mormon at the Kennedy Center.
Was that good?
Hilarious.
Oh, I want to go see that.
Hilarious. Well, first of all, it's Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Right, yeah.
And so when the guys from South Park do it, it's just, I like to go see comedies. I'm not that big into dramas and musicals. I like to see comedies. So one of the funniest shows I ever saw was Avenue Q. Dude, Avenue Q's like South Park meets Sesame Street.
Oh.
The opening number in Avenue Q is everyone's a little bit racist. So like that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the show.
Right.
And like it's just a funny, because there's the puppets, like the Muppets, right? That are the monsters, and then there's like the humans, but then they're all racist against each other, and then there's like regular people of different races who are. But that was the opening number of the show. Hilarious, absolutely hilarious. It was an off-Broadway show, but if I go to see him in New York, I'll get standing room only. Like there might be plenty of seats. I'm going to stand and lean against something because it's just
so uncomfortable, man. Like, and again, like, it's not like you said. It's the pitch of the seat. It's not not even the width.
Like I'm tall and big, so like now I'm uncomfortable by 2 dimensions.
Right, right. Like I just remember the whole time at the Hippodrome, like my knees are fucked.
Yeah.
The play was good though.
I had the same problem at Camden Yards. Like some of the seats at Camden Yards because it wants that old timey ballpark. I love sitting in the bleachers, out at like, right center field. There's the bar up there, and there's a great place to catch home run balls too. I love sitting there because there's plenty of space. There's no armrests. I find Nats Park more comfortable than Camden Yards. So
I honestly I've never been to Nats Park.
It's not a bad place.
I look at that park. It looks huge to me, and it looks like it looks enclosed because they built up, not out. So like, and I get why they do that because that means even upper deck seats, you still kind of feel close to the entertainment because it's not built outward, right? I've just never been, and I should probably go.
Nats Park is nice because you can see the field from the entire concourse.
Yeah.
So with some limited, obviously there are some places where you can't, but for the most part, if you're waiting in line for a hot dog, you can see the whole field.
Right.
So, and the armrests flip up on all the seats, which is also nice.
Do you take the metro?
Yeah.
Or would you drive?
I've done both.
I've heard driving there is a pain.
Yeah.
The parking I've heard is a pain.
Yeah, metro's not bad. Like, now a late game, you might miss the train, but...
Well, yeah, you also could get stabbed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they've built that area up. There's stuff to do there.
Is it?
But I just don't care about the Nats.
I've got no dog in that fight.
I don't dislike them. I just don't care about them.
I'd be going more to go see a game, a stadium, and eat hot dogs.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Just to see the stadium. I'm not really going to see the team.
Right.
I couldn't tell you who plays on the team.
Yeah, no.
I'd
be more likely to go there to see, like, say the Padres were playing them, to go see Jackson Merrill. Like I'd be there to see the other team. More so than going to see who's ever on the Nats.
Right.
Now, when they were in the World Series and they won, I rooted for them. They're a local team. Like, of course I'm going to root for them. Just like if the Redskins went to the Super Bowl, I'd root for them.
I'm of the opposite. I just wouldn't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't care.
But see, most Super Bowls, I don't have a dog in the fight. So I'd pick, like say the Redskins played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, because that's probably who it would be. I root for the Redskins, mainly, for two reasons. One, they're the hometown team, and I want to see the Chiefs lose.
But I can't stand the Chiefs.
I refuse to watch them.
They're so bad.
The only game I watched them was when Buffalo beat them. That's the only game I watched.
I didn't think a team could be as unlikable as the Patriots during their dynasty. They are as unlikable.
But see, for the NFL, with all of them, with all their talk about parity and the salary caps and all this crap, the NFL loves dynasties. And if you think about it, I don't remember the exact number, so I counted back the last 20 years. And the last 20 years, essentially, 10 of the games featured either the Patriots or the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. It's like they love dynasties. So what's all this talk about parity? Like, oh, baseball has no parities. The Yankees always dominate, blah, 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 blah. The Yankees have had more diverse World Series over the last 20 years than the NFL has.
So I think they want parity with a top dog.
Yeah.
Because if you have a villain in the league, it generates views.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to hate that team.
Yeah.
It's like when the Patriots were on top, everyone hated Tom Brady, everyone hated the Patriots, everyone hated Bill Belichick, everyone hated Boston.
Yeah.
It was the perfect foil for the league. Kansas City, you can dislike Patrick Mahomes, but people like Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Because he already had a legacy in the league.
Yeah.
People hate Travis Kelce and the whole what's her face?
Taylor Swift crap.
They can't stand that. They can't. Then they didn't like Brittany Mahomes, and then of course Brittany Mahomes decided she liked Trump. So then, Trump.
Yeah.
And they were probably like, "Shut up, you're a villain."
Right. And then there's she's a heel.
Right.
And then there's the daughter of the owner. Like she's involved. Like what's her name? Something Hunt. Like who owns the?
It was the Hunt family. It probably still is. I don't know the lady.
I forget her name. So there's some like Instagram model looking daughter that everyone hates too. And my thing is, I don't really hate Pat Mahomes. I'm like, Travis Kelce looks like a giant douche, but then when I saw him he hosted SNL, I think 2 years ago. The dude's actually funny, and he was good at okay. And then I've never listened to him and his brother's podcast.
He's a douche,
but he's probably a douche, but not enough for me to hate the guy.
They're both kind of douchey.
Taylor Swift, I don't really care about Taylor Swift.
I think it's creepy. Here's why I think it's creepy. She's a 30-year-old something.
34.
She's 34. Who's cultivating a fan base of tweens and teenagers.
Mm-hmm. And their moms and gay dudes.
Sure. But it's mostly the young girls. And you're getting on stage and you're like, I don't know. It's like something is creepy about that you're in your 30s and you're courting teenagers to be your fans.
Yeah. But see, they all do that.
Do they, though?
I think so.
I think you grew up, like Justin Bieber did that for a while, right? And then as he got older, he wasn't courting those fans. His music kind of grew up with the fans that he had. Yeah. It's like the fans come with you. Mm-hmm. You're not trying to stay in the same age group forever. It's like, the Matthew McConaughey thing. The great thing about these high school girls is I keep getting older and they stay the same age, right? Like that's what it feels like Taylor Swift is doing.
Mm-hmm. But she started as a country. Like that's her first albums were country albums.
Right. Well, country. If anyone ever looks into the history of country music for women, mm-hmm. dude, that's a fucked up. Yeah. That's a whole fucked up industry. Like, you had to pass certain tests. Like, I think like the only person I think that was writing their own music back then was like Dolly. Mm-hmm. But I think even Dolly kind of had to go through a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
But like the Wynettes and the Judds and dude, like they had to deal with a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. Whereas the guys, it was more like the Waylon Jennings, the Willies.
Well, but now it's all what do they call
it's
it?
all commercial.
Tractor rap.
Pretty much.
Crap. It's awful.
Yeah.
So, bro country, like it's.
Don't get me wrong though. I like some of those Morgan Wallen songs. Don't get me wrong.
No, there are some. It's anything that's poppy, like like guilty pleasures almost. So
I wouldn't even call some of those guilty pleasure. I mean, some of those are good. They're just bangers.
Yeah. But if you're taking it from a traditional country, like outlaw type stuff, like the old school, it's
yeah. I'm trying to. What did we start this episode with?
I don't know.
I was going to try and tie it back in, but I really can't remember. Because we're right about 40 minutes.
We were talking. Well,
I didn't want to go on to another topic if we didn't have time to kind of peruse it a little bit. But I didn't know how to tie it back into the original episode.
But we don't know what the original episode was.
No.
We just started running our mouths, and here we are.
All I know is that Adam Chubbuck from Douglas Realty, techmd.com sponsors the show, and we do appreciate that. I liked how I segued that.
Yeah.
That's one thing. I feel like I'm getting better at the segues as we go along. It's only taken 194 episodes.
Right.
Got a little practice.
Finally figured out. Well, our first couple ones we had no sponsors, so
that is true.
We
were hawking VPNs at the time. Remember that?
Yep.
Then we were hawking bourbons. Which next episode we got some. We'll get back into trying a bourbon, and the episode after that, Ryan from Michigan actually sent us 2.
Yes.
So next episode we're gonna get back into the bourbons. We haven't been bourboning.
No.
Very much.
I've been trying not to drink as much, so it's kind of like, how am I gonna not drink as much, but then be on a podcast where we drink bourbon?
It was weird. Like, so we got into this bourbon kick, right? And I felt like we went in and we enjoyed it. And then I felt like the last 6 months we'd kind of fallen off. Mm-hmm. And not because we didn't like it, I just haven't felt like drinking.
Me neither.
And you've cut way back on your drinking.
Oh yeah.
And like the funny part, like I hadn't had a beer in a long time. I had a Miller Lite the other day. Mm-hmm. It tasted fantastic.
Yeah.
But like I had one and I stopped. Mm-hmm. Not that I was a big drinker to begin with. But generally, I wouldn't have stopped with one.
Right.
I would have gone for at least 2, 3. Mm-hmm. Not that that's a lot.
Right.
But I had it, and I was just like, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I didn't feel like I have the urge to get up and go get another one.
It's funny, since I haven't been drinking as much. When I do crack a beer open, like it hits the spot. It's like, oh, that was here we go. But then to not go, go a couple weeks without having one, and it's like, oh, okay, like and then you finally do have one. It's like everyone loves pizza, right? But if you eat pizza every day, eventually you get tired of pizza. So if you take a break from the pizza, and all of a sudden you have a slice of pizza, it's like, oh man, that's good. So,
I always wondered. So because when you used to drink, it was like a 12-pack.
Oh yeah, I could easily. So left to my own devices, I could mindlessly kill a 12-pack.
Right. So the thing I didn't understand was, like you said, after you've drinking a few of them, and after a 12-pack, it's not like it would hit you.
No, it didn't hit me at all.
Like beer, right?
Yeah.
So then, I guess my other argument was going to be, well, why drink it other than, unless you really like the taste of it, because at that point, it's not hitting you in the head like being drunk would, right?
Right.
So the only thing it's actually doing to you is going and hitting your liver in a bad way. Yeah, you're not getting any of the benefit.
Right, and then calories.
Correct.
So you're just getting all the negative.
Right. You're getting just the liver damage and the calories with none of the buzz.
Right.
So at that point, it's like, okay. It's basically like, it's for you, the taste of it is like drinking water. Because you're not getting the buzz from it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, at that point, what's the point other than if you really like it's like people that drink soda. They really like soda.
Yeah.
And I get that. So I guess at this point, now that you've cut back on beer, is it something that, I'm trying to think of the right words. Is it something you miss enough to go back to drinking a 12-pack?
No.
Okay.
No. I'll have, I think I was watching the Ravens on Sunday. So the boys had a basketball game. Well, the middle one did. After that, because this game, for whatever reason, was on Sunday. So then we went to Mother's, sat down right at kickoff. It was crazy that it wasn't that packed. I thought it was going to be packed. And so I ordered wings, Buffalo Old Bay, and a basket of fries. And, of course, I'm having wings, I have a beer. Beer hit the spot. It was great. I think I drank 2 there, stayed until halftime, and then actually I only drank 1 beer because my youngest son knocked it over. So,
I honestly thought you were, my youngest son drank the other one. Like,
he knocked
what?
it back. No, he knocked it over. So I think I had like half of that one before he knocked it over. Then we went home, sat down, popped up some popcorn in the old popcorn machine. I think I drank 2 more, watching the rest of the game. But it was perfect. It was nice. It wasn't like, prior to that, I would have sat down like, okay, first of all, we're not going to, we're going right home. I'm going to have the beer all cold on the fridge, and I'm just going to sit there and swill beer until the game's over. And at the end of it, I would have the same effect as if I had just the 3.5 that I had during the course of this game.
Except it's 1/4 the effect on your liver.
Yeah.
Because you're only having 1/4 of the beers.
Right, and 1/4 the intake on calories.
Right.
So, and I noticed the difference. Like, I had to bring my belt in a notch. So it's paying off.
Now, have you still been drinking the bourbon, though?
No. So every now and then I'll have one. Mm-hmm. But, not to the point where it's like, oh, I'm going to have 3 glasses of, 2 fingers each. Nope. So
I've gotten to the point where I realized, I can drink a bourbon or a whiskey over ice. I could drink one neat if I needed to. But it's not the way I enjoy it. Mm-hmm. It's at that point, it's more for show. Me, if I'm going to enjoy it, I'm going to mix it with something else. Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a mixed cocktail. And so I'm like, okay, at this point in my life, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to make it, unless I'm trying one to see if I like it or not. Like, when we try some of these on the show, I'll drink it straight, or I'll drink it over ice, right? I'm going to go back to how we were trying it, because I want to see if I like it.
Yeah.
If I don't like it, I'm not going to put it in a mixed drink. I'm not playing that game anymore. Like, that tin cup bullshit, it doesn't taste good. It makes the mixed drink taste like shit.
Right.
Right? So why am I going to drink that? Yeah. Right?
Now, have you messed around making, like, old fashions or anything like that?
No. So I keep it simple. I'm not going to be the cocktail guru. Mm-hmm. I'm literally going to mix it with what I got.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a Diet Coke on this table. I'll mix it with Diet Coke, even though I think Diet Coke is fucking poison. Mm-hmm. But I'll drink it and poison myself. The funny part is, between the alcohol and the Diet Coke has more poison in it than the alcohol does. Mm-hmm. For people that don't know, aspartame is fucking horrible for you. Yeah. Okay. Beside that.
Now, you can make it old-fashioned. That's not super complicated.
No, it's just I don't have the fucking energy. Yeah. I don't have the time. I don't have the mental capacity to jump through that hoop.
And I'll tell you, the nice thing about it is that it's still, and I'm going to sound super douchey when I say this.
Go ahead.
It's a spirit-forward cocktail.
Fuck. Jesus. No, that does. It's not you might sound douchey, you do.
Oh, yeah. I'm rowing the douche canoe. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. I've got that bitch up on plane.
Yeah.
But there's some truth to it because, like, if you take shitty bourbon and make a old-fashioned with it, you're going to have a shitty old-fashioned.
Right.
If you use good bourbon and have an old-fashioned, it's going to be a good old-fashioned. So,
but I'm saying, so this is the holiday season, right? So we'll generally have apple cider in the house. Mm-hmm. I'll literally just take that apple cider and I'll put bourbon in it.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my mixed cocktail.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not looking, like, I don't want to go get bitters and ginger. I'm not doing all that shit.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to take a sweet drink that did all the mixing and figuring out for me, and I'm going to add some bourbon to it.
Yeah, and like the mules, like a bourbon mule, delicious. But there's science. Like you need the freaking copper bourbon, the mule cup for it. It doesn't taste the same way out of anything else. And then ginger beer, you talk about sugar and calories. So at that point, I'm like, well, let's just mix it with diet ginger ale. And I'm down with it. Like,
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Ginger ale is one of the few sodas I'll carry in this house. Mm-hmm. Like the reason why there's a Diet Coke on here is because we got it because it was like over the summer. And
this Diet Coke's been down here for a minute.
It has, yeah.
And it's like the airplane Diet Coke. It's the little 8-ounce job.
It's literally the
7.5 ounces.
You literally buy those for mixed drinks.
Like I'm holding it in my hand and you can't see it.
But we got it it was the 4th of July party that we do at our house. Mm-hmm. And that's what I got it for mixers for people that wanted it. But ginger ale is generally something we'll keep in the house. Yes, I know it has sugar, but it doesn't have caffeine, so the kids can drink it if they want it. I got one that likes.
Plus, hospitals give it to you when you're sick, so
it does help. It does help settle stomachs.
Yeah.
So, like, if you've got kids that have some upset stomachs, ginger ale can actually help.
Yeah.
The carbonation helps, right?
Gives you a hell of a burp too.
And it also won't peel paint like fucking Coke. Like, it's not gonna. Yeah, they use Coke to clean your fucking toilet out.
Yeah.
All right. So no, ginger ale I feel like is one of the lesser of the evils in the soda world. Not that we drink a bunch of soda, but I will do literally like I'll mix ginger ale and a bourbon, and that's it. I'll put some ice in there. I won't put anything extra in there. That's it. That's what I'm doing. Because at least that's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm and I don't have to go to a cocktail book to figure the recipe out for whatever this is or whatever that. Like one time we got like the maraschino cherries that we had. We got the simple syrup. You know how many times I made one, even with that shit in the house? Zero times. Yeah, 0 fucking times.
Well, I was making them, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "Well, how much?" Like, don't use maraschino. Use Luxardo. I'm like, I am not gonna go find like. Tell me the difference.
So, like, I'm going to do the equivalency here. People that make those drinks to that specification in their house, it's very similar to, like, guys normally won't do that. Guys will do something very simple. They drink it straight or they'll mix it with something, with a one, like, ingredient thing. It's like, if women had time to themselves, and they don't have kids around, and the husband's out or whatever, or they don't have kids, or they will take a 2-hour to 3-hour time block and set themselves up with a bath and candles in their house. Like, they will do an hour of prep to have the ambiance set for a bath.
Yeah.
That's like a guy. Like, if a guy wants to set the ambiance for his drink, he will do about 30 to 40 minutes worth of prep to make this one singular drink that will last about 45 minutes to an hour. That's the male equivalent to a bath for a lady. Guys don't do that to draw a bath for themselves if they ever do a bath to begin with. Look, I'm going to go watch this show. I want a cocktail. I'm going to put the juice in, the bourbon in. I'm over there. It took me 5 minutes. Not even. I'm the guy that doesn't have. Like, I'm not going to put the time and effort into making a mixed cocktail with all the different ingredients and the preparation. And I'm not going to grind the lime. I'm not going to grind the bitters or the orange peel.
Anything.
No. It's just not me. Hey, well, you need to have some self-care. Fuck that. That's not my self-care.
Self-care is the bourbon.
Self-care is me taking 30 to 45 minutes on the toilet.
Yeah. Away
from everybody. That's my self-care.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just pouring the bourbon in a glass neat and drinking it. So
me being on the toilet playing mahjong. Mahjong tile games. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
For me, it's War Thunder.
Yeah, right. I think I'm also playing Last Shelter. Really some doom and gloom games there where people are going to die. I have no qualms about sending 30,000 troops to die that don't exist. And apparently I'm on like an Eastern European server. So none of these people speak fucking English. Like, I'm literally having to hit the translate button on all of the messages to find out what these assholes are saying. Like, do you have Line Messenger? Like, no, I don't fucking have Line. I'm 45 years old. I just got WhatsApp like 6 months ago because my aunt told me to get it because she was going overseas, and like apparently you can call with WhatsApp without having to get like some international.
Oh.
I don't know. You use Wi-Fi and call with WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And international rather than getting like an international SIM card or some shit. I don't fucking know. I've never been over.
Roger that.
I've been to Canada.
Yeah.
That's where I've been. And honestly, I made the mistake one time of using my American phone in Canada. So apparently, with an American phone, once you go over the border, so we went from Buffalo to Niagara Falls, or I guess Niagara Falls to Niagara Falls because there's an American side of Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know where I'm at. And then apparently your phone will connect to Rogers.
Okay.
Whatever their cell services over there. But once you use data and make calls, you rack up a bill.
Oh.
I think it was like we were there and in Toronto for like a week before we had kids. And I think the bill was like $1,000.
Oh.
$1,000. I was like, what is this? Like, this was roaming.
Yeah.
Like, roaming, is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Like, I remember that when I was still on Sprint in my 20s. I didn't have the flip.
Oh.
It wasn't a flip phone. It was just the little cover for the dial pad
Yes.
flipped down. It was that blue phone.
And like you drove to a different county and you were roaming.
Right. But it would tell you roaming.
Yeah.
Had a little roaming signal. But $1,000, I was like, God damn, like, what are we doing here? I was like, so I learned if I ever go to Canada again, I should get a burner international phone.
Yeah.
For like $25, and you get all the data and texting you want.
Yeah.
I was like, this is fucking wild, man. $1,000. Like, what the fuck? Did a hamster have to run on the wheel for me to be able to do this? Like, did you have to like put one of the interns on that wheel to power up my phone? Like,
Runs on hamster blood.
Yeah. Like, what is this bullshit, man? So, I guess we'll talk about the more important things next week.
Yeah.
Because we got some health updates that we have to get to. I also have a Yukon update. I was trying to think of the other update we were going to do. But then we hit an hour mark talking about
Nothing.
Taylor Swift.
Talking about nothing.
Taylor, shake it off. So come back next week. At least we hope we made you laugh on this show. Even though we don't have a fucking clue what it's about. I'm going to have to re-listen like the first 15 minutes just to find a title for this shit. Well, we hope you enjoyed listening to this show. Look, the whole purpose of the show is for fun. So if you're laughing, then it's worth your time. We appreciate you listening. Thank you to Adam Chubbuck, TechMD.com. We'll talk to you soon.